In the spirit of reconciliation, I acknowledge the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia and their connections to land, sea and community. I pay my respects to their elders, past and present, and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Island peoples today. Welcome to Totally Lit, the podcast celebrating reading, writing and creating literature. I'm your host, Ky Garvey. Thank you for listening.
Lauren Williams, welcome to Totally Lit.
Hello. Thank you very much for having me.
You've got a great new release out through your firm called Neighbourhood Watch. I'd love to hear everything about this.
Oh, you are going to be here all night. So Neighbourhood Watch is my first book. I'll give you the pitch.
Yep.
We've got the annual Curlew Street Scarecrow competition. Bigger and better than ever. It's amazing. But the residents of Melbourne's inner north have never seen an entry quite like this before. Hair bloody, arms limp, hanging limp over a scarecrow crucifix is the dead body of Victoria's most conservative Supreme Court judge. We've got fabulous Detective Sergeant Priyanka Powell who's on the case. She gets sidelined by the old boys club, who's trying to ask why, and slowly starts to uncover some corruption close to home. And then we've got the fabulous sisters, Emma Bloom and Margot Bloom. Emma's this very sophisticated woman who seems to have it all together. Her husband being the very conservative Supreme Court judge who is now dead. And Margot is her rather prickly, estranged sister who reads between the lines of Emma's situation. And the book sort of looks at the lead up to the death. It looks at the aftermath of the death. And we discover some of the nasty truths about this, quite frankly, awful man who's now dead. And we look at how these three different women have to grapple with the knock-on effects of his actions. It's good fun. There's locally sourced asparagus. There's a cat. There's a 24-hour drive-through florist. I mean, it's got a bit.
So we're getting the real Melbourne. Is that character in the book?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, the Scarecrow competition is actually inspired by a real Scarecrow competition that happens in Melbourne. It's on a street called
really?
Street in Thornbury. Yeah. So that happens every year. And I remember because I moved back here a couple of years ago and was taking my dog for a walk. Wound up going around, up around the corner in this area and went, what the hell? Because there were all these insane nutso scarecrows. It was fantastic. And
Was it terrifying?
Yeah, it was just glorious. Like, what the?
So my first thought is, how did they get their victim up onto the post? So how did they make him a scarecrow? Is that like a spoiler already?
Yeah, that is a spoiler. I can't tell you that.
Right,
you'll find out when you read the book.
I have a curious mind. So my first thought is, okay, how did they get him up there?
It's a fair question. I had to work through all these things.
So how has it been feeling your debut? It's exciting. I know that we're not quite to launch date yet, but the lead up is coming up. Has it been as amazing as you thought it would be?
It's been quite surreal. It still doesn't quite feel real yet. I mean, now I'm talking to people like you and people like who've read it and like can say things to me about it. And it feels very strange that actually this is a book that has now left my computer and can exist in other people's lives as well, which is very alarming. But yes, very exciting.
Have you held a copy in your hand yet?
Yes, as of yesterday.
Oh, how exciting.
I know, it was really cool. I'd seen an advanced sort of reader copy that had a different cover and stuff like that from last year. But yeah, yesterday I finally got my hands on the real deal. It was like, it made me feel extremely stressed, if I'm honest. I'm never going to open it.
A pristine copy that will never be opened.
Yeah, it's just...
You have to find somewhere, a pride of place in the house to keep it.
Yeah, it'll be like a
trophy.
No.
Now, what's the experience been like with the firm? Like as a debut author, did you submit to the slush pile, or how did you initiate your publishing?
You know what? Look, I do not recommend my process to anybody. Do not do what I did, guys. This was a terrible plan. I'm very lucky it worked. So basically, when I'd written my book, I was looking at, how do I get this in front of agents? How do I get in front of publishers? Looking at all that sort of stuff. And on every single website I went to, everyone was saying, give us a synopsis. And I tried so many times to write a great synopsis. And I think everybody who's ever tried to write one knows what a hellish awful thing a synopsis is. And I just went, stuff it. I'm not going to do one. How do I get this in front of people without writing a synopsis? And so I decided I had to get shortlisted in a good competition.
What did you enter?
I
And
entered
when
the
did that happen?
Victorian Premier's Literary Awards, and I got shortlisted last year for the
Incredible.
Unpublished Manuscript Award. And off the back of that, I picked up my agent and I got the publishing deal. She submitted through publishers and stuff. But it was also this really weird experience because I'd finished the book ages beforehand. And then I got the call I'd been shortlisted, and then it was announced, and then suddenly agents and publishers were proactively approaching me, and it was amazing. It was like my evil unhinged plan actually worked.
All of that just to get out of writing the synopsis. I love it.
Except, wait, there's the bad news bit, because after I signed the contract with the Femme Press, I got this email from the lovely marketing and publicity team, and it was full of all these questions and things, and one of the things they wanted was a synopsis. So unfortunately, guys, you're going to have to write one.
I write picture books, and so I find it difficult I'm like, how do I write a synopsis that is short? It's going to be longer than my... I'm still figuring out how to do all of that. But you think I would have figured it out.
Yeah, it's a beast of a thing.
So your background, what prompted you to write a book in the first?
I've always written. First book I ever wrote, I think I was 5.
Oh, yes.
It was heavily plagiarized. It was about 2 toys that fell out of bed and had to go on an adventure to get back into bed. And that was donated to my primary school library. I'm sure they still have it.
So you might have a picture book there, right there.
Yeah, obviously. And then the next one I wrote was one that I called The Bloodthirsty Rats, because I'd been reading too much Paul Jennings. It had a tidal wave machine. It had a rat plague. It was glorious. And then since then, I just and I was saying this to someone else the other day, I kind of distinguish between my writing, my personal writing process, which is, I will bash things out whether I'm angry or upset or happy or whatever. It just is a nice way of expression and exploring and just having fun. And then writing to publish, I have found to be quite a different experience. It took a very different approach to it. Still a lot of fun, but just different.
Yep.
And the thing that really triggered it was I had a friend staying with me, and she was going through the process of publishing her first book. Her name's Kende Fadipe. It's called In Such Tremendous Heat. I recommend. And it reminded me, that's right, I always wanted to publish a book.
Oh, yeah, I want to do that too.
That's right. And then I was like, look, she's doing it. It's a thing you can actually do. It's not like some mystical, untouchable, unreachable thing. It's a thing that real people actually do. And so, yeah, by the end of that year, I'd sort of changed jobs and I'd started to write and went, okay, I'm actually going to write this to publish. And so I did market research. I looked at the actual industry, what was selling, what wasn't, because I really like plotty books, but I write very much character first. So I was like, well, what's a good way to merge those two things? And that sort of crime, thriller, mystery space is just such a good place to do it in, because you can get such fabulous characters in there, but also these really meaty, twisty plots as well.
Yeah. Oh, exciting. And so do you think that would have been your favourite genre, if you were removing the market from the equation?
What to write or to read?
Yeah. Well, let's start with writing. If you could write any genre at all, would you have stuck with what you've written now?
I'm really glad I chose the genre I did, actually. I didn't know how much I'd enjoy it or not, but because I find a frustration with a lot of the crime genre is that it does tend to sort of dehumanize the victims a lot. It tends to be fairly sexist in a lot of ways, and there are a lot of tropes in there that I'm not a big fan of, that sort of grizzled alcoholic detective with the angsty past and the sexy sidekick that's inexplicably attracted to him, and I'm just bleh. And so it was really nice to sort of chuck out the stuff that I don't like and that doesn't work for me, and to sort of approach it from my perspective. And breathe life into it that way and come in with a, just definitely a more female first, woman first perspective.
Yes.
And I think that's definitely growing in the genre, but it's still very much dominated by that sort of more male lens. And so it's been really fun to write in a genre that's typically male coded and just turn it on its head and just having a lot of fun with the plotting and the twisting. I never thought I would enjoy planning. Turns out I love it. Planning is so much fun.
Is that like an evil plan? Is it evil planning, do you think?
Some of it's evil planning,
Yes.
definitely. Like, what terrible thing can I do to my characters next? Yeah.
Is there anything where you've written and gone, oh, too far?
Not yet,
Not
actually.
yet?
I've had
Okay,
moments
then
where,
go further.
yeah, I've had moments where I've been like, why did I decide to do this? This is unhinged and terrible, and trying to make it work is a nightmare. But I've just gone, no, I just have to make it work. And so then it balloons into this whole beast of a thing, and it usually makes it a lot better. So.
And what about reading? Are you wanting to read in that same space, or do you like to explore different genres when you're reading?
Yeah, look, I read really widely. At the moment, I'm reading a nonfiction. It's called Emperor of the Seas. It's by Jack Weatherford. It's about Kublai Khan. It's really cool, really interesting.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. And actually, I'm a bit on a nonfiction bent at the moment. Book before that was Road to Jonestown. Yeah, I like to read across genres. One of my favorite sets of books when I was a kid was Douglas Adams' Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I was obsessed with Lord of the Rings. I don't know if you remember the Mossfall series. It was about all these little animals like fighting battles and things.
I think reading widely, though, really informs your writing, though.
Definitely.
I was actually at a conference today and Garth Nix was there and he was talking about reading widely is a great way to make your writing better.
Absolutely. And just Shirley Jackson, for example, she's not somebody who writes in that sort of crime thriller space in the way we think about it in a contemporary sense, but her writing and the way she approaches things is so, if I'm ever feeling stuck, I like to just pick up her work and go and read through it because she just approaches things in such interesting and fun ways, and she's got this lovely sense of humor in really dark spaces. And that's something that I always like to have there as well. I think you need that sort of humor and tragedy balance. Like, she's really, I'd say that she's been a very informative writer for me, just seeing how she does things. I would also say Shakespeare for similar reasons. I used to be an actor, so I had this total love affair with Shakespeare when I was an actor, just adored playing it, adored reading it. And the way he sort of has these juxtapositions and these contrasts and things, I always really liked. And the rhythm of his language is just beautiful. And seeing what you can achieve if you break rhythms and just with just subtle things like that. Those sorts of things have all sort of seeped into my writing. I'm definitely no Shakespeare, don't get me wrong. But
if only we all were, wouldn't life be different? So now you've got the lead up to the launch and you're doing sort of PR things like interviews like this. And are you planning anything exciting for launch day?
Sure, I'm such a homebody. People keep asking me this, what are you going to do? And I'm like, I kind of just want to be at home under a blanket.
Let it happen without me.
Because it's really exciting, but it's also, I find it a little bit overwhelming as well. So I feel like I'm quite enjoying this sort of lead up with the bits and pieces of publicity here and there, like meeting and talking to new people. That feels really lovely because it's not too overwhelming and I'm getting to meet really nice people and cool people who are people who are into books. And it's just all of this sort of stuff feels like its own little celebration, if you like. And the team at Affirm Press, I love them to bits. They're the nicest people. They've been really supportive, really lovely throughout the entire process. Even I was really worried about what the editing process would be like, but no, super amazing. So yeah, I just the whole thing since selling the book has just been really positive.
Amazing.
So it feels kind of almost a bit strange to think of doing a special launch when everything has just been this really good experience, and the launch just feels like it's part of the whole thing, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
Although it is fun, to get your friends and family together and have a little celebration. Have some cake.
But I don't have any friends. I don't
No friends.
My friends are all over the place. Like, I was saying this the other day. I was like, I've got like 3 friends locally. The rest of them are, in ACT or New South Wales or England, Singapore. They're all over the place. So
Got to be an online launch then.
yeah, I've got to do like an
Invite
online Zoom
everybody.
event.
Yep. Just using Zoom to communicate with people.
That's fine.
Looking out through the social media window at the world.
Yeah. I like only having to dress my top half properly. I can just wear my PJ pants or my trachea pants.
It sounds like writing is the perfect job for you.
It's been nice. Like, I can just sort of squish on the sofa. It's nice.
I sometimes like to be social, but then at the end of it, I'm like, oh, that was exhausting.
I need to go
I need to lie down now. And it's
Yep.
difficult. I find I get quite anxious, and I'm still kind of not sure why. A lot of times I'm like, there's no reason to be worried or anxious about a social engagement. But then I do feel a bit like, oh, that was a lot. That took a lot out of me.
I feel like half the time that's what the anxiety is before social engagements. It's not so much that you're worried you're not going to be able to handle the engagement, it's that you're going to be knackered afterwards.
Yes. But the world of promoting your book, there's a lot of social engagement.
There is a lot. Look, I spent 10 years as an actor and then I moved into diplomacy. So talking to people is my jam. I like talking to people.
Mm.
And because the team at a firm are really lovely, they're making sure that I don't have a pile up of anything. So I've got like breathing space in between. And
so do you think, has your acting and experience informed your writing, do you think?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, it really experiences how I approach character and also frame scenes. I find that a lot of the time, I definitely don't write from a visual perspective, I have to say that. But I always have to sort of put that stuff in after.
Yep.
And go, well, that's a bit of a white room. Let's put some detail in there so people understand where we are.
Scenery.
Yeah. But just in terms of like the shape of the rhythm of a conversation and how characters interact and stuff like that, a good question for me always is, would I enjoy acting this? If the question is no, I've got to redo it. Mm. And so that's a really good sense check. And I have to admit, I do probably inhabit my characters a little too much because I write close third. Mm-hmm. So very much from the perspective of a character, and I probably spend a little bit too much time inhabiting them. I'm probably one of those terrible people who sort of is inhabiting a character and then becomes a jerk when they're inhabiting a jerk.
Oh, no. So you're like, what do they call that? A method actor?
Oh, no, I'm not a method actor. That's just like an inadvertent side effect. Spending too much time in a particular psyche. But it does make writing from a perspective easier, I find. I'm not having to work very hard for it. I don't do character bios and all that sort of stuff that I know a lot of people do. And I think it's just because I did spend so long playing different characters and doing that sort of work that it feels far more instinctive for me now. And it's nice to actually be able to do it again. I went into law and did this diplomacy thing and it was all a bit dry and like there's lots of interesting work in there, but it's not the same.
No.
And that coming back into that sort of creative work and being able to find that really lovely bridge between performance and writing has been a lot of fun.
I think it can be really challenging if your day job doesn't always align with your creativity. Because I sometimes go, this has been a big week. How am I going to now disconnect from that to be then immersing myself and imagining and creating? And I'm like, oh, I think I'm going to put on some Netflix.
Yeah.
My brain just needs to stop for a while.
It's really hard because you get tired, and tired is not an easy place to get to creativity from.
No.
You
although I do find I'm a very internal thinker, and so I live in my head a lot, which is not particularly healthy because you're having conversations with people all the time and that you're the only one actually present.
Hey, I'm not going to judge. I do that too, so no judgment. I am pro.
I just need to convert that to it becoming my novel instead of me having like playing out, this might happen if I do this, and this might happen if I do that.
I wish that our brain could just sort of take that stuff out of our head directly and just shove it into the page instead of actually having to type it. Could you imagine? That'd be amazing.
Just like plug in,
Yeah,
download. But I think then that would remove the art of writing, though. It really is like an art to be able to write. Yeah, and I think
it'd remove a lot of the part of the challenge that I really enjoy about it is sort of like working out how to get that sense of something across and sort of problem solving and troubleshooting and trying different things and testing things out. I enjoy that process.
And it is fun to kind of flex your writing muscle and see what you actually can do as well. It's like, okay, I'm going to try this. Can I pull it off? Yes, I did it.
Woohoo!
Now, I have a few questions for you, for my listeners to get to know you a little bit better. First off, what would young Lauren think of your writing career now, do you think?
Baby Lauren would think it was the best thing ever. It was to be honest, when people used to ask me what I wanted to be when I was a little kid, I told them I wanted to be an Ansett, like an air hostess for Ansett.
Okay.
Unfortunately, Ansett went bust, so I had to change that dream.
No more Ansett.
But so the first time I really realized, like, what jobs were and understood the whole thing was when I really want to be a writer. And I remember telling a fib to a friend that I already had a publishing deal. I think I was about 7 or 8 at the time.
Manifesting, all right.
A publishing deal. Oh, like, just terrible lies. Always into creative storytelling. I'm pretty sure she knew I was lying. But she was a nice friend who didn't say anything.
She didn't call you out. That's lovely.
Yeah, but it was always something that I kind of wanted to achieve and do. And it got, when I got into high school, I think I lost a lot of my confidence with my writing. And I decided that the only thing that I was any good at was acting. And so that's what I went and pursued. And and then I sort of, when I quit acting, I cannot face doing another creative industries thing. And so I went into law.
More money in law, though.
There is more money in law and more reliable money. It's a very different kind of space. I mean, there's a lot of creative storytelling in law, don't get me wrong, but it's a very different kind of thing. But yeah, it kind of fell by the wayside. So I think little Lauren would just be so pleased that she's no longer a fibber.
The dream is real.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Now, for aspiring authors that are wanting to break into your genre, what advice would you give to them?
Oh, that's a really tough question. I think that it's such a tough question because, people are I've listened to other people's advice and I've used none of it.
I think we'll start with write your synopsis.
Yeah, write your synopsis, I guess. And I think it's really just find the joy in what you're writing. And if you think you're a pantser, have a go at planning. You might find your life is a bit easier. And if you're a planner, have a go at pantsing. You might find your life is a bit easier. There is an unholy union to be made between the two, I think.
A hybrid.
Yeah, that fabulous hybrid. Find that. Let yourself be surprised. Be prepared to get extremely bored and want to give up. Keep going. But in terms of, like, if we're talking about actually getting into the industry and everything, like I said, don't do what I did. That was a terrible plan. Don't rely on that.
But while we're on that topic, I guess you're mentioning boredom. Were there any techniques that you used to re-engage when you were feeling that things weren't exciting you?
Just doing it. I know that it's the most uninspiring answer of all time, but I always sort of get to the last 20,000 words and just don't want to because I know how it's going to end. There's very little room for surprising myself anymore, very little room to really play around anymore. And so it's just this absolute slog to get through. Just do it. You just do it, guys. You may not love it, but you will be so pleased at the end. It is well worth it. And I think that, there is no magic. I can inspire myself. You can't. You just got to do it. Just put your fingers on the keyboard and start typing. It doesn't matter if it sucks. Just get it done.
I think that's the hardest thing, is getting so wrapped up in perfection that you never get anywhere. Like, you just have to get out the draft and then go back.
Yeah. I
Go
think
back
in
and
accepting a lot
edit.
of people, but you really want it to be good, right? Let it be bad. It's okay. Just get it done. You can always edit it later. And I would also say give yourself space in editing. I like to ignore my manuscripts for months before I come back to them, because by the end of it, I've hit the wall with it. I can't face it. And it's very difficult to depersonalize it. You know, you talk about killing your darlings. I cannot kill my darlings straight away. I have to have at least 2 months between finishing and editing. So
now I've forgotten what I was going to ask you. Oh my goodness.
I do
All
realize.
right. The question that I'm asking everyone at the moment is there something that my listeners and your readers may find surprising about you?
Surprising about me. I bored someone to death once.
Is that considered a crime if you bore someone to death?
Well, I like to tell people it was the first time I killed someone. That was when I was working on a cruise ship. When I was an actor, and we were doing a production of the Canterbury Tales. And somewhere between me singing about and doing a dance about cocks, of course, I'm talking about, the chickens, not the other thing.
Yes.
Of course. And somebody farting out a window behind me. This little old lady in the second row died, and I can only presume she died of boredom. But because it was on a cruise ship, the morgue was directly beneath the stage, so at least they didn't have to take her far.
It's a tough critique, though.
Yeah, I was like, harsh.
Yes. Rest in peace, lovely lady on the cruise.
Yeah.
Very sorry that you're gone.
Hopefully she got a good laugh before she went.
So the surprising thing is that you were a performer on a cruise ship.
Yes, inadvertently killed someone with my terrible acting.
I did do an event once where someone fell asleep in the corner. So
My dad
took
fell
that
asleep
as a
at one of my
response.
shows, so I feel your pain.
Like, oh, okay. I'm boring people as well because they're asleep.
I guess that's another piece of advice for writing. Don't be afraid to be boring. It's okay.
Well, I think you've just got to learn to not take anything personally.
Yeah.
In the industry, and even like with social media and who's buying your book and all that sort of thing.
Oh,
It's
yeah, because
not
everybody's going to have
necessarily a
opinions.
personal.
Absolutely.
And there's enough for rejection, like we're on the floor all the time going, oh, they said no. Without us kind of creating rejection in our heads. Well,
Yeah.
oh, fantastic. So what is next for you? Like, this book is coming out. Is there more in the works? What exciting things
so
are
this
next?
one's out, I think it's coming out on 30th of June, roughly the same time next year, I think, the second one. Its working title is The Font. It's the same detective.
So is that like a 2-book deal?
Yeah, this was part of a 2-book deal, yeah.
Is it a 3-book deal?
I wish. That'd be great.
That would be
But
amazing.
no, it was a 2-book deal. I do have a tentative plan for a third one, pending if readers want more of my detective. But basically, they're sort of set up so there's 3 protagonists for each one. So, yeah, that book is currently second one is with my publisher at the moment, and I'm just waiting for the dreaded feedback. But actually, I quite enjoy that process of editing because it's just, it's going to be so much better once it's done.
Yes.
So that's what's next. And then I've got an espionage book that I've written.
Oh, wow.
It's with my agent at the moment to see if she thinks it's fantastic or dire. We watch this space.
Is some of that inspired by your diplomacy work in the past?
Oh, very much so, yes. So there's a lot of stuff in there that was inspired by my time working in foreign affairs.
Were you secretly inspired?
I was not, but I did encounter them and I did get spied on. And I was like, this spy stuff sucks. And so I've sort of jammed that into this book. There's all my trauma. But
that would be such an interesting space to work in, to be honest. I would not be equipped for it at all. I'm not, how can I put it? I'm very naive. So I would never be, I'd always be just telling everybody everything. Like, no need to spy on Ky because she just tells you anyway. No secrets.
I have to admit, I remember I did go through one of the recruitment processes for one of the Australia spy agencies. And I got all the way through to the end and then sort of realised, hang on, I think spying is unhinged. This
Well,
is
I think if
probably
you
not a
were,
good idea.
you passed all the tests and they said, yes,
Passed.
you're very suitable to be a spy, that's not necessarily a compliment.
Yeah, that's true. What does this say about me as a person? It all comes back to that fib I told when I was a little kid.
Become a
Yeah.
permanent long life fibber.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I
No,
think
thank you.
subterfuge is not my game. But
No, it'd be such a tough life. 'Cause you can't tell anyone what you do, and yeah, no thanks.
that's true, I think, as well. Like, I'm just worried about going to an event and feeling anxious. If I was actually in any real danger, I would be very, very nervous all the time.
I think that's the thing about espionage too, though. So much of it is just so tedious and boring.
Mm.
And so, yeah, it was fun to sort of put what I actually think espionage really is, and from a modern contemporary perspective, into this book. Which, it's like this very parasitic, somewhat tedious, awful thing. So, yeah, being able to play around with that was a lot of fun. And it's sort of like, because I found writing the Priyanka Powell novels, my 2 crime novels, a lot of fun because it really drew from my legal background and, like, studying criminal law and, like, just reading the judgments from judges and the terrible way that personality really comes into the administration of justice in these systems and how those sorts of things do lead to corruption and stuff like that. And particularly when you're thinking about marginalized groups and women and how we get treated in these systems and how that all sort of interrelates. So that was a lot of fun with that. And so then to be able to do it again with my foreign affairs background with this espionage book was a lot of fun too.
So this is how naive I am, in that I'm like, no, in this day and age, these things, they can't happen anymore. Surely, every time I'm watching the news, I'm like, no,
You're like, how
how?
does that still happen? Surely we've got
Yes.
all these sort of archaic systems limping along with us into the future and just not keeping up.
No.
Yeah.
And also that, like, that money always wins out. Like, I'm always like, oh, that's so disappointing that still corruption is a thing, and whoever has the most money is the one who influences outcomes.
Yeah.
That's so sad. And I
It's
have
so
this, like,
funny.
feeling in my heart of, like, one day the world will be a better
The one thing I'll say is that it is a sort of system where creativity thrives because you end up with people who, and this is where I got a lot of inspiration from my detective character, from women I've worked with who've looked at these terrible systems and gone, this is just awful. How do I make it work?
Yeah.
And then seeing how they actually navigate these things and use them and leverage different aspects of them to get the right outcome, even if it's not, the outcome you're supposed to get, if that makes sense.
It's amazing when you're faced with adversity, what you find out about yourself, like how resourceful you can become and how creative you can become. And it's like, oh, I never knew I had that in me, but I'm actually, even though I'm joking about being anxious and nervous at events, I'm like, oh, I'm really strong. That's cool to know that I've discovered that from facing adversity. And I think that's women find out what they can fight against because they're faced with the fight, which
Absolutely.
is sad, but also, yeah, it's incredible what women can achieve. So,
That's why I think also women's perspectives are so interesting. And it's why I really enjoy writing. I don't think I could ever write from a man's perspective because men don't have to deal with as much. It's not that men
it's
aren't
a
also
different world.
complex and fascinating people, but they have a completely different experience of life and they don't have to experience with as much things and they don't have to adapt and be as creative and resilient as women do. And so, yeah, to write women is just to write something really quite interesting, I think, when they're faced with adversity because there is no clear path through. And so seeing how they do it, what they can do, how they approach things, lots and lots of fun.
Thank you so much for joining me, Lauren. It's been great to hear about your book and your very interesting background. I've really enjoyed the chat and I cannot wait to read your book.
Thank you so much. And thank you for bringing me on and giving some time to a brand spanking new author. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for listening to Totally Lit, and don't forget to go out into the world to read, write, create, ignite.